Hello, everybody. Delighted that you could join us today. We're going to have a wonderful discussion previewing the September edition of Vicenzaoro, which will be the first in-person jewellery trade fair in Europe this year. I am delighted to be joined by Marco Carniello, who is the event director of Vicenzaoro. And we're going to have a good discussion, a wide-ranging chat about the special features and wonderful jewellery that we are expecting to see at the Vicenzaoro show in Vicenza, northeast Italy, between the 10th and the 14th of September this year. So Marco, welcome.
Welcome. Ciao, David. Hi, everyone. Thanks again, David, for having me here.
Very good. So could I just kick off, Marco, by asking you, I mean, what will be the special features of Vicenzaoro September?
Well, first of all, as you said at the beginning, it will be in presence. It's already 21 months that we didn't have any real show in presence. And I think it's a great sign for all the industry if we can gather together again in a place like Vicenza. It's true that we had Voice last year. You remember Voice was still a hybrid event with an in-presence component in Vicenza, but it was much smaller and not intended to be a fair. It was much more a communication event, and that was fine. Was fine for the objectives we set. So this September would be really a new thing. So after 21 months, everyone wanna come back in the halls.
And what will be the significance of this? Because I understand that Vicenzaoro will be the first in-person jewellery fair in Europe in this entire calendar year, 2021. So the first chance for people in the industry to gather in person.
We have a great responsibility. Yes, we're going to be the first to start, and it's important someone starts, because I think we'll be looking for some more months ahead with still uncertainties. So we're not going to see a perfect world in the next months. So we need to kind of adapt and we need to start. So we took the chance for being in September, which is a good month, as we're going to see later on together, to do something for the entire industry. And I think this will be a good push for everyone. So we're really looking forward to see other shows starting again all around the world.
Absolutely, as indeed they are, but it'd be lovely for people in the trade to gather together and network together in person. I think many people are really looking forward to that. Now, the main theme of Vicenzaoro September is state of the art. Can you explain, Marco, what state of the art will encompass and celebrate?
You know, basically all the recent editions of Vicenzaoro has been discussing the future of jewelry. And so many of the titles also on some of the talks we did together with you, David, we were always using title like the future of. Well, after almost 2 years that we didn't meet in person, we kind of feel that we are in the future. So we jumped in the future. Yes. So we want to talk not about the future anymore, because we are in the future and we just want to focus on the now. So the state of the art is like taking together a picture and make a photography of where we are, where the industry is, and what happened in the last 2 years. So the main the key theme of the overall edition would be really understanding where we are.
Okay, very good. So for viewers who have not been to Vicenzaoro before, could you outline the types of jewellery that will be on show at the trade fair, and tell us a little bit about, if you like, Italy's expertise as well, and history in terms of its production of gold and silver jewellery?
Sure. Vicenzaoro international show, is an international hub, as we usually call it. And with that, I mean that Vicenzaoro is showing productions, product and services from all the major production countries. Obviously, Italy is the core and is in the core. 60% of our exhibitors are Italian. But then we have Hong Kong and mainland China, we have India, we have Germany, we have Spain, we have Turkey, and so on. In terms of categories, we covering all the supply chain or the value chain, if you prefer. And that means that we have technologies. So at the beginning of the value chain, all the technologies you need to produce jewelry and to work on jewelry. Then we have all the components, the gems, the production, like the unbranded products. So all the companies they are producing as a third-party suppliers, they are producing for Cartier, for any other brand. And we have the brands. So we covering everything along the supply chain, plus with all the kind of differences. So we have the high-end brand with fine jewelry, but we have also the fashion brand. So with all the different segments that the market needs. Obviously, the Italian part is very focused on goldsmiths, on golden, on production, also on technology, a little bit on gems, of course. But as you know, when you come to Vicenzaoro, you really are in a set where you don't find what you're looking for.
Yeah, and I understand that this will be the first time the September edition of the show, which is held twice a year in normal times in January and in September, the first time that the September edition will have the T Gold part of the show, which is the machinery show. Could you tell us a little bit about T Gold?
Yes, T Gold is our community focused on technology, is something very strategic for our show. Because our T Gold and our technology hall is one of the most interesting in the world. It's probably the biggest show in the world in terms of technology, and they are working a lot with all the world. There are many Italians, but also many Americans, many Germans, etc. And there's a lot of requests from companies to be in the show because they need to come back on a whole. They really need to provide new innovation to the market. So there was a need to be already in the show, and they will come back in January. So technology is pushing a lot to start, and this is the best sign they could give to us, being in September as well with technology.
And one of the other features of the September edition of Vicenzaoro will be the presence of timepieces and watches. Can you tell us about this, the vintage section of the show, and what your hopes are for this relatively new segment within Vicenzaoro?
Watches have a lot of synergies with jewelry when you talk about distribution. So many jewelry stores, many jewelry chains, many distributors, importers, wholesalers, they buy and they sell both jewelry and watches. We have been focusing on jewelry, and we're still focusing on jewelry, but we see a lot of synergies introducing some watches. And this is something not new for Vicenzaoro, because in the 90s, the watch area was pretty big in Vicenza. So our objective is to grow up again an area, a project with watches, contemporary watches, focusing on the independent brands. So in the small niche brands, they need the opportunities that a show like Vicenzaoro can provide. And this is part of our project on watches, which we're going to call VO Clock, and it's going to be in Hall 1, close to the other communities in jewelry. Another project on watches is VO Vintage, and VO Vintage is going to be another event. Is still in the fairground of Vicenza, same dates, but is separated because it's a B2C event. So it's open to any passionate, any
collector,
anyone, any collector. And VO Vintage is, as the name goes, is something related to everything is vintage between watches and jewelry. Is actually something that is growing a lot. We started off with this project in January 2020. This is going to be the second edition, and it's going very well because there's a huge community very interested in these kind of products, and we basically giving them the chance to come down from the web and meeting together physically and sharing their passion, discussing in Vicenza. And that's why we are going to have a very rich panel of talks, discussions with big collectors, with watchmasters, etc.
Excellent. So I'd just like to invite viewers to submit questions as we go. Please use the Q&A button to submit your questions, and then we'll take them as we go. And we'll have a section at the end of the discussion for Q&A. So Marco, one of the most important aspects of putting on the show in this period, of course, is the safety of visitors and exhibitors. Could you please outline what steps Vicenzaoro and IEG, the organizer, will be taking to ensure and guarantee the protection of visitors and exhibitors? I understand you have some visuals you can show to us.
Yes, before that, I just want to recall that when we did Voice last year in September, we implemented already many of the safety measures that was needed for the COVID. So we got a lot of experience last year. So we're taking those experiences and we are applying again in Vicenzaoro September, this September, and which is already a good start because we know how to deal with this issue. Having said that, we just released a communication, a public communication, and we said we gonna give access to the fair to the people with the green pass. And with the green pass, by green pass, we mean that people should be vaccinated or should have recovered from the COVID the last 6 months, or they got a COVID test in the last 48 or 72 hours, depending on the COVID test. So this is a way to create a kind of safety bubble, because people within the fair needs to be, obviously they need to be safety, but they need to be relaxed and comfortable in, in relating with other people, talking, shaking hands, probably if they want, etc. They need to have masks to respect a certain distance. But yes, those are going to be the main measures we are taking. There are
So just to be clear then on, say, social distancing, so what will be the guidelines around social distancing within the show?
Is obviously what I'm saying is what is requested by the law at the moment. It could change in the next weeks. I don't think it's going to be changed by September, but you never know. So now the law requests the 1 meter distance between people. We are going to have a COVID test area outside of the show, so no problem if you're not vaccinated, if you are not recovering from the COVID. So you need the COVID test. We're gonna do it just outside the fair. It's probably will take a few minutes, hopefully, depending on the demand, but we are setting up all the facilities in a way that people, they don't have to, to care about the wasting time to get into the fairground. Then there are some other things we put online. So if you let me share my screen and I go on the website so we can pragmatically see.
And again, if viewers have questions about the safety measures, please do submit them on the Q&A button, and we'll get to those.
So now I'm on the Vicenzaoro website. So if you want to register, you go here, you click to register, and you get on this page, registration. You fill in with data, the typical data. You have your password and the title, name, surname, etc. At some point, you get to this question. Oh, sorry. You need to this question, participation preferences. Basically, to prevent possible peak of flow of people on a certain day, in a certain hours, we are asking in which day and time slot you think you will access the fairground, but this is not a limitation for the visitor. So if I, for instance, think that I'll be there at the 10th of September at 4:00 p.m. So I select this range. In case I'll be in September, I'll be at the fair the 11th, no problem. This is just an indication that we need to prevent and to make our plan. So no worries. This is just an indication in case you're not coming exactly in this time, in this day, in this hour. There's no issue. You're getting anyway. The other point interesting for people they are thinking to come in Vicenza is the fact that we're gonna have on our website this form, contact us, in case you have any questions on requirements for traveling to Italy, the documents to provide, certification to have. You just contact us through this form. The form is within this Safe Travel project, and our experts, they will be answering to you, giving to you all the guidance to be in Vicenza at the time you need with the right documents. So there's a lot we do for safety, but also to make your journey efficient and as smart as possible, because you're coming for business and there's no worse thing to waste time for business people. So this is our priority.
Marco, could I just ask you, there's a question from Arden Ercol, who asks, will there be a limit on the number of visitors at the Vicenzaoro Fairground?
Yes, definitely will be. There is a limit by the law, because based on the square meters within the halls, we have a number of people that can be at the same time within the hall. But I can tell you that even when we are in our peak period in a normal situation with no COVID, we hardly reach that level, because our show is a B2B, so there's no issue on massive flow of people in a single area. So yes, there is a limit, but I don't expect to get any close to that limit.
Okay, very good. Just if I may ask our viewer Alberto Milani, could you please clarify your question regarding the Green Pass? I don't quite understand the question. Maybe you can just rephrase the question, and we'll ask Marco.
Well, yes, so Marco, I think Alberto. Yes, I think Alberto, because the Green Pass is a very European thing, and Alberto even is super Italian, is now American, or at least based in America since many years. When we say Green Pass, we mentioning the 3 points. Or you are vaccinated, so you present a proof of your vaccination, the same one you would provide to the air carrier when you get on board to get to Fiumicino Airport or Malpensa or Venice Airport. Secondly, you need to prove, or you need to prove to have recovered from the COVID with the same kind of papers you would provide to the air carrier. Or third, you have a COVID test. And the COVID test, if you don't have it, because maybe your flight was 2-3 years ago, you can take the test outside of the fair. It will be rapid. It will take 15-20 minutes hopefully, and then you're getting, obviously, if negative. So it's not a big problem. We'll manage the best we can.
So in view of the safety measures that you're taking, Marco, do you have any sort of projections of numbers of visitors or indeed exhibitors, overall guidelines of numbers that you can give to us? I mean, given that certainly in the rich world that the vaccinations progress has been quite rapid by now, are you expecting numbers of visitors year on year to be reasonably resilient?
Look, I'm showing this chart. Do you see the chart?
Yep.
So first of all, the September edition in Vicenzaoro is mainly European. So visitors in September are 90%, so 90 from Europe, from Italy, from Germany, from Spain, and so on. There's a 10% of visitors that usually coming from the Middle East, the very close Middle East, basically the Emirates, and very few from US and very few from Asia. So if we take the biggest part of the usual visitors in September, those are Europeans. And if you look at these websites, well, there are plenty of those websites. I'm using our word in data, and if you look at the vaccination rate percentage of populations across Europe, you can see that Italy, Germany, France, all Europe is a very good level of vaccination, and so it's the UAE. So all the countries we are looking for the visitors are in a pretty good shape, let's say, in terms of vaccination. Plus, if you look at these other websites, which gives us the expected day by which the country can reach the 70% vaccinated population. And you take, for instance, let's start with Italy. Italy will be vaccinated 70% of the population by the 30th of August. So by the end of August, 70% of Italians will be double vaccinated, let's say. But this is the same for Germany. They will be just a little bit late, but at the end of September. In Spain, they will reach it by mid-August, 23rd. Belgium, August as well. UK, where you are, David, is a half of September. So the situation we're looking at, excluding next surprises, should be good to have a good show. I'm not saying it's going to be a great show because many will still have problems, but we can expect from these data a good show.
What I can see from some of those figures is that some of the key markets for exports of Italian gold and silver jewellery, such as the United Arab Emirates and the United States, which are both in the top 5, they are very well advanced in their vaccination campaigns. So does that augur for potentially resilient numbers of buyers coming from those market countries?
I can tell you there's a big demand for buyers from UAE. They want to reach Vicenzaoro in September. There's no problem for vaccines or for being vaccinated because basically all of them are. There's some issues in getting the visa because there's a lot of accumulation of visa requests in this month. So hopefully everyone will get their visa. And we are doing everything we can to allow it or to support this process. but yes, so there's from the Middle East, we'll see a lot of interest in coming back to Vicenzaoro.
Okay, just quickly looking at the questions. We have a question from Vahid Ahadnejad in Iran. Hello, Vahid. Do you have a separate section in the field of jewellery machine manufacturers at Vicenzaoro? Marco did answer that question early in the session. Maybe you weren't there, but there will be the T-Gold section for the first time at the September edition of Vicenzaoro, which does showcase the latest technologies from machine manufacturers from around the world, including Italy. Marco, do you want to add any comments about T-Gold for Vahid?
Yeah, because there will be some news for T-Gold, because usually T-Gold is outside of the fairground, of the central fairground in Vicenza. This time T-Gold will be inside the fairground in Hall 4. And just I'll take the chance to describe how we are revising the layout for this September, because it's different from it was in the past, but this is but it's also we are still in a transition phase, so we need to adjust our operations based on different variables. So icon and creation, so the high-end branded jewelry and the production, the unbranded jewelry will be in pavilion in Hall 7. All the central fairground will be covered by creation community, which is the name for unbranded jewelry. The expression, which is the packaging, will be in Hall 6. The fashion jewelry called Look in our naming is going to be in Hall 1, as well as the VOC, the VO Clock project about watches. Then we have the gems in Hall 3, and T-Gold finally will be in Hall 4. So it's not going to be outside of the fair. It's going to be at Hall 4, which is much more convenient. There's a lot of different benefits of having the machinery there. So this will be the situation for this September. January we will be back to the normal, to the situation we had previously, the COVID. But yes.
And Marco, once you're into the show, can you connect to anywhere within the entire event? You don't have to sort of exit and re-enter at another part of the show, say to enter T-Gold. Was it all within one umbrella?
Exactly. It will be all one single umbrella. So with the same ticket, you can go and navigate all the fair from Hall 1 to Hall 4 with the technology. Don't need to get out or show any ticket. The only thing you should, the only area you want to visit, and for it you need to exit and re-enter a new area, is the VO Vintage, because as I said, VO Vintage is a B2C event. Obviously is in conjunction of Vicenzaoro. There's a lot of things related to the two shows, but it's different. So you need to exit the Vicenzaoro with your ticket and enter in VO Vintage with the same ticket. So you don't need to do much.
Very good. There's a question from Yannicka Mangion. Just to clarify something you were saying earlier about that drop down during the registration process when you give a time slot that you expect to be visiting the show. Yannicka is asking, can you only choose the one day that you would be visiting? And then Yannicka asks, how would we be able to attend other days? I mean, do you fill another drop down? Because Yannicka is saying that he or she would need to visit a number of different suppliers over more than one day.
Well, Yannicka, I welcome to come whenever you have to, or whenever you want to. Yes, you have to register. You have to select the most possible probable day and timing, but this is not a limitation for you to coming in any other day or time. So just select the most probable one. For us, it's just an indication for kind of statistics that we need to prevent possible issues with the flow of people. But yes, you don't need to select any other time slot.
Marco, we have a question from Lulu Fuad in Indonesia, a journalist there. Thank you very much for joining us, Lulu. Lulu is a great supporter of our webinars on social media, someone I've met in some of the Asian shows. Lulu is asking, will there be any exhibitors from Indonesia? Will the list of all exhibitors be easily accessed by us?
Hi, thanks for the question. Yes, well, I'm starting from the last question. Yes, the list is accessible through our website. It's already online, and you can filter by country. I'm not sure, but I don't expect to have anyone from Indonesia. I'm sorry for that. We'll try to have some from there in the next editions. I can tell you that we do have exhibitors from abroad, not only Italians. This time we still have a lot of Spanish, Germans, Turkish, etc. What we having in a smaller number versus the pre-COVID is from Hong Kong, China, and India. They usually are a strong component of our offer in terms of exhibitors, but this time they really have troubles to get to here. They want, but they basically they can't. So we'll hopefully see them in January.
And Lulu also asks if the media, Lulu, by the way, is with Watches Indonesia magazine, and is asking if the media wishes to feature some of the exhibitors, can we get the contact details of the exhibitors from the Vicenzaoro website?
Yes, definitely. And if there's no the direct email or any useful information, she can directly contact me or the team of Vicenzaoro easily. She can easily find it on the website, and we'll provide this information.
Okay, very good. So just to encourage people to keep the questions coming in on the Q&A button of the webinar. So now, Marco, turning to, if you like, the Italian side of Vicenzaoro, the business side, what can you say in general terms about how Italian gold and silver jewellery exports have been affected by the pandemic and the outlook?
Talking about the Italians, yes, on the 2020 we suffered. So the Italian industry suffered a lot because the export was down by 30%, 30% in 2020. It's basically a decrease in export across all the major consuming markets. So it was down the US, was down Asia, was down the Middle East, was down Europe. Everywhere was pretty tough. And what we see now is a good rebound of export, thanks to the fact that most of the world is opening again. Shops are open. People are feeling a little bit more optimistic than before. And then there's interesting phenomena that we discussed in March last year, where we were at the beginning of the lockdown. And it's true that consumers are spending less for experiences, for traveling, for vacations, and they allocate that money for jewelry or watches. So there's a little bit of a remix in spending. So we see a good sellout from the jewelry stores, from the online platform, of course, just because of that, because people need to, at some point to exit from this kind of sad moment. They want to spend, and they address their spending more towards jewelry and watches, which are most of the time also good investments, especially jewelry.
Well, we've certainly seen that in the auctions markets, that they have been very strong through this period at the high end. And also that high-end retailers, say the Bond Street retailers, have achieved strong sales also through the pandemic. That presumably would augur well for Vicenzaoro, which is in the high end of the space in the jewellery trade fair segment, to achieve good sales to high-end retailers.
Well, this is what we expect. So we expect a good rebound of our market. Probably will be not sustainable for the future, this level, but definitely there's a good rebound now, even because most of the events like weddings and other religious events, they usually coming from with gifts in jewelry or watches have been stopped for many months, and now they are basically doing all of them in few months. So I had very good feedback from some of my clients. They are saying the jewelry stores finally are selling a lot. There's a good renaissance of the sellout. It's not going to be sustainable, this level, for many months, but the most important thing is that we restarted. Then this growth will be adjusted and it will be more sustainable, more real, and more attached to the real economy, but it will be growing again.
That's interesting. I mean, I heard this week that, for example, Moussaieff, who are a very high-end retailer on Bond Street with an international clientele, have been seeing very strong sales of high jewellery suites for weddings lately, which clearly is a good marker for the future at the high end of the market. The gold price was relatively volatile during the earlier period of the lockdowns, Marco, and hit very high levels last summer, but this year has been relatively stable. What impact has if you like, the high gold price having on exports of Italian gold jewellery?
We discussed this a few times already, and I think it's still the same answer. So our companies, our factories have been dealing with this variability of gold prices since many months, and I would say many years. And prices have been growing progressively. Now it's stable, but anyway, till the variation are small, it's fine for them to deal with. If you have some big shocks in terms of prices, both up or down, this is creating a lot of problem with the stock, with the finance cycle, etc. So I would say our companies are very good in dealing with this variation, unless we are going into big shocks, and that can be really a big problem. But for now, they can deal with that, and they will deal.
Okay, very good. So we have a question from Nelly Ilcheva, who asks, would it be possible for you to let us know in due course a link or a website path to the exhibitors? She says it is not easy to directly find them on the website.
Okay, I'll do it online. So we go to the web. So if you type Vicenzaoro, so it's vicenzaoro.com well, it's just enough vicenzaoro.com. Then you go to this page, you can register, and then you see here exhibitors catalog. At the moment, the exhibitors catalogs is just mainly just a list, but in few days, I think it's next week. Sorry, I forget it, the exact date. It will be much richer of contents because exhibitors are still uploading their contents. So you can filter well by event because we are listing also the T Gold, the category, the subcategory. So for instance, if you take Alessi Domenico, which is a very famous chain producer, you can find a description and some of the category, subcategory. In few days, you'll have here. There's also some information from the contacts. But in few days, I think it's the 5th of August, you'll have the chance to enter a complete new ecosystem, which is an online platform developed exactly for this purpose, where you can see more about these companies and connect with them directly and schedule an appointment at the fair.
Very good. We have a question, Marco, from Daniel Vecht, who is the Managing Director of London Pearl. Hi, Daniel. Great to be in contact with you. London Pearl are an exhibitor at Vicenzaoro and have been for some years, and are very much looking forward to the show. Daniel says currently there is a 5-day quarantine for British people arriving in Italy, which makes exhibiting very difficult. Do you expect the Italian government rules to remain as they are?
Hope not. So thanks for the question. First of all, I really hope that it will be released this measure. And I know from David. David, you were telling me before this show that UK canceled the quarantine for people coming into UK. So I think they will be valid the reverse in few weeks, hopefully in few days.
Yes, there was breaking news from the BBC just before we went on air saying that fully vaccinated travellers from the United States and the EU will be allowed to enter England without quarantining, according to government ministers. So if that proves to be correct, I mean, it may presage similar action by other countries going forward.
And this is our hope. And usually when there is one way, where there's a measure one way, the other way will be pretty similar. So I really hope that our government will be everything to allow UK people to come without quarantine, probably with the declaration of the fact they're doing business in Italy or something like this. They will be okay to coming in Italy without losing 5 more days.
Yeah, and just to respond to the question from Javad Jafari, which was the first question, I hope, Javad, you saw Marco's response to how to find the exhibitor list on the website, which he just ran through. So thank you for that. And we do welcome questions, please, on the Q&A function. So Marco, looking forward to some of the presentations and seminars and so forth at Vicenzaoro September. Firstly, can you tell us, will the trend book, the next edition of the trend book, be published at the September edition of the show?
For sure, because Trend Vision is one of our most valuable content and is one of our most valuable outputs as an organization. You know, the trend book is released, is produced by Trend Vision, and Trend Vision is our independent observatory of trends and forecast. Everything is directed by our Paola De Luca, and Paola will be presenting the new trend book this September at the show. There's a lot of expectations. People really want to know what to expect from the next months, and I can't anticipate anything. But yes, I make sure that you know, will be exciting as usual. The only difference will be that the trend book will be not printed. It will be an online version still for this year, because it's easy to distribute these around the world. But yes, the content will be there. The content will be as interesting as it was in the past, even more because Paola is a hard worker, is a fantastic colleague, and she will be releasing an awesome product again.
So Paola works with a team of specialists and researchers all around the world, looking forward to trends, and this would be the Trend Book 2023 Plus, looking, if you like, at the post-pandemic scenario as we get through the vaccinations and how that will impact upon attitudes, lifestyle, and design trends in jewellery and luxury. So that would be very interesting. Could you tell us a little bit about the seminars and discussions that will feature at the September edition of Vicenzaoro?
Yeah, I was going online just to check the program and to show you directly what you can see and attend at Vicenzaoro. So I'm sharing again my screen. So if you go to the website, you scroll down and you find the agenda, and in the agenda you find all the talks. And if I remember well, the Paola's talk is on Saturday. Let me check. Here we go. So just to let me check because there's at least two big seminars I like to touch today with you. One is definitely the seminar of Paola De Luca releasing the new trend book, and it's going to be at 10:30 a.m. on the 11th September in the independent. No, this is not the one of Paola. Sorry for that. The Trend Vision talk. We are still expecting for the final title from our team, but the Trend Vision talk will be at 1 o'clock on the 11th of September at the main stage, Hall 7. And this is very important to attend to because, as I said, is inspiring. Another very interesting seminar for the audience we have today is the seminar from Sibjo, which is going to be done together with the RJC, and it's these sustainable development goals meeting their challenge on the 2:30 p.m. On the 12th September on Sunday. So I'll just mention them just to say a few, but yeah, check out online. There's the full list with all the details.
Yeah. Well, sustainability is very much an important topic, isn't it? And very much on the radar of many consumers buying jewellery around the world who are insisting upon a sustainable, responsibly managed supply chain with no people or negative environmental impact in the production of jewellery. So that's a very topical, hard-hitting subject. So just stepping back slightly from the September edition, Marco, obviously this has been a very traumatic time for the world. Just wondering how you feel that international jewellery trade fairs will change in view of what has happened. Technologically, what can you say about the development of Vicenzaoro, and will the show increasingly become a sort of a hybrid between an in-person and a highly digitized trade event?
It's a very good question. As we said a few months ago, the COVID didn't really push fairs to start the digitization, because the digitization was already a priority for the trade fairs. So we started already before the pandemic. And during the pandemic, we accelerated this process and this dynamic. So in the future, we'll be seeing more and more hybrid event because probably hybrid is the right word to define the new format of trade fair. And trade fairs will be very much focused on the physical part, and definitely it should be a nice experience with all the nice elements that we usually have, but it will be enriched by a kind of digital layer by which you can interact with exhibitors and visitors. You can look at more content, etc. But the biggest role of digital within the trade fair business will be before the show and after the show. So all the show organizers need to stay in touch with the communities all around the year, and need to engage the visitors, need to engage the exhibitor, needs to keep up with connecting supply and demand all over the year. So the digital part, the technology part will be very much focused before the event, just to provide more features, more services to the visitor and exhibitors to prepare better the real show, or to start business even before the show, and after the show to benefit from all the contents, innovation and relationship created during the physical event. So it will be hybrid, and this is how we see the future. We don't expect that physical event will disappear. They will consolidate, of course, but this was a dynamic that was already in progress before the COVID. So we'll be looking for this.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Vicenzaoro app, or plans for the app, and the special features of the app?
Yes, well, mostly the app and the website will be there to help visitors in planning their visit at the show better and in a more efficient way. We know very well that buyers from US especially, but from everywhere, they really don't want to waste time in looking for the right supplier. So we'll be using the online and the web platform to help visitors to find and to select the exhibitors to meet at the show before the show. So they can check, they can explore, they can get in touch with them. So first of all is this feature of being able to scout and explore better what is in the fair. Secondly is the possibility to set an agenda, to schedule the meeting directly with the exhibitors before the show. So this is also going towards a more efficient way to visit a show. And third is to benefit from content that we create during the show, also from home, especially after the show. Because when we do the show, we bring all the key influencers, the key people of the industry. We discuss hot topics because we believe that the fair is at the center of the industry and need to help to serve the community and the industry to develop, to discuss, etc. So all this rich amount of content has to be, accessible to everyone, because this is a kind of service we do for the industry. And all of these will be accessible from our platform online during the show partly, and after the show for sure.
Yeah, and could you tell us a little bit about some of the logistical opportunities to get to the fairgrounds, the bus links and that sort of thing? Will there be certain bus links provided by some of the hotels? And will there still be the free public transportation by bus from the Vicenza railway station to the fairgrounds?
So all the links we usually provide at Vicenza will be kept for this Vicenzaoro September. So no change about the links from the station, from the airport, from the hotels. The only things we need to keep the safety first, so the buses will be not fully occupied, etc. So the links will be the same. And for the ones in the audience that never visited Vicenzaoro, I can tell that we have links provided by the fair from the airport of Venice, from the airport of Verona, from the station, train station of Vicenza, every half an hour, every hour, not in the peak time. So there's always a way to get without a car into the fair. And almost all the hotels in Vicenza can provide the shuttle to the fair. Then on our website, for the ones they need a car, they need a private car for a specific transfer, they can follow our link and book for a service, private car service to go everywhere from Vicenzaoro Fair to the arena in Verona.
And for visitors arriving at Venice Marco Polo Airport, they just need to make their way to the Vicenzaoro booth, do they not, in order to arrange to get onto the bus, the Pullman bus that will take them to the show. Is that right?
Yes, it's very easy, because when we have the show in those days, there's a booth. Whenever you arrive, you find the booth and the signals Vicenzaoro bus with some people from our team. And they will lead you towards the bus that we provide to link the airport to the fairground. I can also show you online if you like, but online is really easy, because you go to the visit section, and in the visit section there's a how to reach us area, and you see by car, by train, by plane, and you find all the information you need.
Very good. So we just got two last questions before we wrap up the webinar, as our hour is coming to an end. Very specific question from Michael Akawi. Greetings. Is there any quarantine for those arriving in Italy from Egypt? Very specific, that one. Do you happen to know?
No, first of all, thanks for the question. We're really looking forward to welcome you from Egypt to Italy. So what I can suggest is going into our website, as I'll show it again, because this is really key, and I understand the critical issue. So if you go to Vicenzaoro, let's say you type in vicenzaoro.com, you go here, and then at some point you find safe travel on the website, and you contact us. You ask exactly the question you have, and they will be answered by our team of experts, because obviously I don't know everything of the different countries, but we have a team of experts who will be finding the right answers for you.
Very good. And the last question, will the recording of this webinar be available via YouTube, or any link for us to access and watch again and share with our customers? That question is from Lulu Fuad from the Indonesian Watches magazine. Lulu, yes, the replay will be available in about 2 days' time on the Jewellery Outlook YouTube account. Very good. Well, thanks so much, Marco. Our hour is now up. It flew by, as always, with our discussions. Thank you very much indeed for giving us your time and your wide-ranging insights into the Vicenzaoro September, which will take place between the 10th and 14th of September in Vicenza, and will be the first in-person jewellery trade fair in Europe this year, 2021. So thank you very much. Look forward to seeing everybody who can make it to Vicenza in September. And stay safe, everybody. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in Vicenza.
Bye-bye.
Bye.